Have you ever just looked at your relationships and felt like you're stuck in some kind of weird, repeating pattern? Well, today we're going to talk about a hidden psychological test you might be giving people, one that could be quietly wrecking your connections, with stakes that are way higher than you think.
So let's just be honest for a second. Think about your relationships, friends, partners, all of them. Is it possible that you are making them pass a series of secret little evaluations that only you know the rules to? Look, this isn't about being a toxic person or anything like that. It's about a really subtle, often unconscious behavior that can quietly sabotage the very connections you're trying so hard to build. Let's dig into what that actually is.
Okay, first up, the unspoken test. We all say we have standards, and we should. That's a good thing. But what if sometimes those standards are actually a disguise for a much more complicated, hidden test you're making people take?
Does any of this ring a bell? You know that moment when things are going great, so you just pull back a little, just to see if they'll notice, to see if they'll close that gap. Or maybe it's that game of chicken with the text messages, just waiting to see who caves first. It's all about feeling like you're in the driver's seat, right?
And that's the little voice in your head, isn't it? It's the first rule of your secret test. You put up a little wall, and in your mind, if they're willing to climb it, that's proof they care. If they really like you, they'll put in the work. They'll chase.
Oh, and here's another classic move. Using silence as a weapon. This isn't just being busy. Come on, we know the difference. It's a deliberate choice, a power play, to show you're unhappy without saying a word, and to see just how they'll react when you go cold. It's just another level of the test.
So this kind of begs the question, are these moves really about having high standards, or is there a much deeper fear driving all of this? Let's get into the real psychology behind it. And here it is, the big disconnect. On one side, you have the story we tell ourselves, I just have high standards. But what psychology suggests is that underneath that, it might actually be a fear of intimacy. That feeling of, I'm just protecting myself. Well, that's often a loyalty test in disguise. And that deep need to feel in control, so often that's rooted in a profound fear of being abandoned.
So let's actually put a name to this thing. It's called a loyalty test. It's a game that you're playing, but you probably don't even know you're playing it. You're not trying to be malicious, you're just creating these little obstacles because deep down, some part of you is terrified they're going to leave, and you need them to prove over and over again that they'll stay.
And this, right here, is the huge, tragic irony in all of this. The very test that's designed to make sure people stay close is the exact thing that pushes all the best ones away. Let me show you how. Check out the twisted logic of how this plays out. Step 1, you create the test. You pull away. Okay, so a healthy, secure person sees this, and what do they think? Okay, they need some space. They respect your boundary, and boom, in your rulebook, they just failed. Meanwhile, the insecure person, the one who's maybe a little drawn to chaos, they blow right past your boundary, they chase you, and guess what? They just passed your test. Seriously, just let that sink in for a second. The emotionally mature, respectful people, the ones who would probably make a fantastic partner, are the very first ones that your system filters out. They refuse to play the game.
So what happens when this goes on for years? Well, it's not a one-off thing. It creates this powerful, destructive feedback loop. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that just keeps proving your worst fears right.
Because your test is basically designed to reward dramatic and chaotic behavior, you consistently end up with people who thrive on it. You're weeding out all the calm, stable people and attracting the storm. You end up in the exact type of relationship you thought you were protecting yourself from in the first place.
And you can see how this vicious cycle works, right? You test someone, and the good ones leave. What do you tell yourself? See, I knew it. Everyone always leaves. Your fear gets confirmed. Then you create some drama, and the dramatic people stick around. Your new conclusion? Well, I guess all relationships are just chaotic. You are literally creating the evidence to prove your own fears right, time and time again.
So this brings us to the end, and it really all boils down to one fundamental choice that you're making, whether you realize it or not.
I want you to really sit with this question for a minute. Is this whole complicated system of tests and hurdles actually a shield for your heart? Or is it a weapon you're using, maybe not even on purpose, to push people until they finally snap, just to see if they'll stay?
And maybe that's the real shift in perspective here. The challenge isn't about designing a better, more foolproof test for other people to pass. The real test, the one that actually leads to a real connection, is the test you have to give yourself. It's the incredibly brave work of learning how to just offer your trust instead of demanding that it's earned through a series of invisible, unwinnable games.